can.
Also, good evening, everyone. I trust we are doing good, and I trust we had a good time yesterday. Um, yeah, today we're going to be talking about colors. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to, figure it out tonight. So I'm trying to just load it. So, while we are looking for a Figma to respond, I remember I gave us an assignment on different fonts, right? Told us to use pen serif, pen sans serif, and pen decorative fonts. So if you've done that, can I see the hands of the thumbs up if you've done that? You just one person.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so if you've done your font assignments, can I see a thumbs up? Nobody. Ah, can you imagine? Just one person. Omosharewa, have you done your assignments for fonts? I can hear you if you're speaking.
Done my assignment, but like task 3. You mean?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I don't know. Yeah, I can hear. I was trying to say if you should repeat with I didn't hear you.
In fourth? So I was asking of the assignments I gave.
I was saying please go over what you said again. I didn't catch that. Please go over what you said.
The assignments on typography, have we done that? Can you see hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. So Jeff is asking whether we were able to do the sans serif font and um, what's the last one? Decorative fonts. Were you able to list those 10 fonts?
I was. I put it in the same page as task 2. So
Okay.
you need to fill that.
Okay. So today we'll be talking about colors and all you need to know about colors. Don't know one in Figma is. Just give me a minute, guys.
Okay, so I think Jeff is trying to set up his laptop, or I think it's Figma that is taking some time to load. So I'll just be asking some questions pending the time Jeff gets his Figma up running. So let me just do like a very short quiz, right? First question is, if I was to create a frame from scratch, what is the shortcut I'm going to use? I just need somebody to raise up their hand and then say the answer. Okay, Odubela, what's the answer?
F.
Okay, letter F. So to create a frame from scratch, you click on letter F. Okay, now I'm going to ask somebody. I'm going to choose somebody and I'm going to ask. Let me see. Shaliwa. If I was to duplicate maybe a frame or a text, how am I going to do that? There are two ways I taught you. How am I going to do it? Can tell me one.
The way I use. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Control C, Control V, then Control D.
Okay. To like duplicate, right? Okay, that's good.
Yes.
That's good. Thank you very much. Which other question should I ask you? Okay, I think I gave us a little bit of hint yesterday about changing colors, and I said there's like a shortcut you can use to change colors, right? Tomisen, what is the shortcuts that we use to change colors? I told us a particular letter on our keyboard. If you tap on it, it brings up the sample color, and then once you click on any color you want, it automatically changes. What is that shortcut? What's that letter? You click on your keyboard, and then it brings up the sample color for you to change your color. What's that? There's one. I told us yesterday. Tommy, I'm asking you this question. Don't hide.
The letter I.
Yeah, you're correct. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. People are too smart. I'm trying to look for something that is even difficult. Can't even find something that's so difficult. Okay. Okay, I don't think I really taught us this one, so I can't really ask that. Okay. There was something I did when I created a frame, right? After creating, let's say I want to design from scratch now, I'm just starting my design. After creating a frame, this one is going to be directed to Glory. Yeah, I've created my frame and I'm about to start designing. However, I want my elements to be properly aligned, so like they're not leaving the space at which I want to design in. Do you get? What is that thing I have to do that will make my work properly organized instead of it leaving the frame or anything? There's something I did. What's that? What do you have to do?
You used layout guides.
Yeah, Rihanna. You guys are too good, though. Voila. Hey, you guys are too smart. Good. What is hard? I can even ask you guys now. Okay. Let's say I want to bring in a star. Who should I ask? Kelvin. I'm seeing you on my screen. If I want to bring in like a star icon, right? Which plugin, you can just mention the plugin we have used in class. Which plugin did we use to bring in a star before we started adding colors and all those things? What was the plugin?
Iconify.
Hello. Hey, you guys are too smart, I beg. Oh my god, that's good. I'm really proud of you. Give me a second. What's up? What's going on now, Jeff? Okay, Jeff, are you ready now?
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right. Good evening, once again, guys. Apologies for earlier. So, okay. So we're going to talk about colors today, and all you need to know about colors. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Um, I know colors is like one of the most difficult aspects of design for designers, right? Having to choose colors, like contemplating um, what am I going to use, how am I going to choose colors, how do I go about this, and all of that. It can be very difficult when it comes to picking the right colors for your design or for your products, right? So today I'm going to be guiding us through how to make use of colors, how to combine colors, and also know about color theory and color psychology, just at the basic level, right? So this is not advanced, it's just basic elementary level of colors when it comes to design, specifically for screen design, that's digital design, right? So I believe you can see my screen, right? You can just let me know if you can see my screen. So I can't see your reaction. You can just unmute your mic to speak if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. So color theory, an introduction to color theory and color palettes. Right. So what is color theory? I know most of us maybe you've heard about color theory before, but you don't know what it is. So I'm just going to break it down. Color theory is a framework that informs the use of colors in arts and design, guides and decoration of color palettes, and facilitates the effective communication of a design message on both an aesthetic and a psychological level. So it's both aesthetic. I don't know, some people call it aesthetic, some people say aesthetic, whatever it is, and aesthetic and psychological level, right? Modern color theory is largely based on Isaac Newton's color wheel. I know we've heard about color wheel before, and you know Isaac Newton, right? Which he created all the way back in 1666. I remember I was there then when he created this 1666. The basic color wheel displays three categories of colors. We have primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. So when they say three categories of colors, don't go and mention blue, red, don't go and mention RGB. Those are not categories of colors. So the three categories of colors, because sometimes this question might come like that, and you see the option RGB, you say, oh, yeah, the three categories of colors. No, that's not it. So it is primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. So note that. If you remember learning about this in arts class, well done. If you've already grasped like the aspect of color theory. That's for those of you that did fine arts in school or in secondary school or primary school or did architecture. So color category, primary, secondary, and tertiary color. So we're going to talk about all of this. Primary colors are colors that cannot be created by combining two or more colors. The primary colors are red, blue, and yellow, right? So those are primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. They cannot be created by combining two or more colors. Then secondary colors are orange, purple, and green. In other words, the colors can be created by combining any two or three primary colors. So if you combine two primary color or three primary color, you're going to get a secondary color, right? So secondary color comes from primary color. Then tertiary colors are created by mixing primary colors and secondary colors. The tertiary colors are magenta, vermilion, violet, teal, amber, and chartreuse. I don't know if I pronounce this well, right? So those are tertiary colors. You can go and search some of these colors, right? So the way you want to get married, you can use any of these colors for your wedding colors because I mean that's when you hear about different names of colors. So we have the color wheels here. We have primary colors, secondary colors, and we have tertiary colors. You can see the color wheel, right? You can see this is one, two, three. You can see this. So the mixture of two primary color will give you a secondary color, right? It means that in the middle of two primary colors, you get a secondary color. I know some of us have seen this, but maybe you've not taken note of it. This is you can notice it now. So if you mix yellow and yellow and blue, you're going to get green. If you mix yellow and red, you get orange. If you mix yellow and what's it called? Red, you get purple, right? Then tertiary colors, if you mix one primary color and one secondary color, you're going to get tertiary colors. So tertiary colors are usually found in between a primary and a secondary color, like the mixture of a primary and a secondary color. You get a tertiary color. So this is a color wheel, right? So color wheel is something like this, right? So color wheel doesn't just chart the primary color, secondary color, and tertiary color. It also charts the respective hues, tints, tone, and shades. So what this means is that it's not just the whole combination of colors. It's also talk about the tints, the hue, the tone, and the shades. You can see that as it goes inside, it becomes lighter. As it goes to the edge, it becomes darker. Right. So when you go inside, it becomes lighter. When you go to the edge, it becomes darker. So that's what a color wheel represents. So it's not just the color that it represents, it also charts the respective hues, tints, tone, and shades. So we're going to talk about what hue is, tint is, tones, and also shades. Right. So these are the things you have when you talk about a color wheel. Right. So hue refers to the pure pigment of a color without a tint or a shade. So if it's red, it's red. That's the original. Let me just use the word the original color. You've not added any tint. You've not added any shade, right? So shade refers to how much black is added to hue. Like if someone says add shades to the red, it means that you're adding black to that red, or add shades to the orange. You're adding black to that orange, so it makes it dark. I know we use the word darker shade. That was wrong because when you say shade, it means dark. So don't be saying darker shade. Please don't do that. All right. So um, shade darkens the color, right? Then tint. Tint is the opposite of shade, right? Tint refers to how much white is added to a color, right? Such as as such, tint lightens the color, right? So don't go and say lighter shade. There's nothing like lighter shade. Just say tint. So tint means you're adding white to any color, right? Then tone is a result of color that had both black and white added to it. So if you say tone, people who do makeup very well, I don't do makeup, right? But I used to hear something called maybe toner or something. I don't know if this is also the same thing, but like if you mix, tone is like you mix both black and white together, right? It gives you gray, and then you now use it and add to that color. So it just creates a tone. It makes it shiny kind of, right? So black and white give you gray, and then you add that gray to the color. That's tone, right? Then another color term is also color temperature, right? So color temperature, it just talks about temperature of the color, right? So we have the term called warm color, cool colors, and neutral colors. So I know you must have heard about warm colors, you must have heard about cool colors, you must have heard about neutral colors, right? With the words warm, cool, and neutral, you should be able to like have an idea of what it says, right? But I'm also just going to explain a little bit of that. So if you're a newbie, if you are a self-confessed design newbie, you've likely heard of the term one color, cool color, and neutral color tossed around in relation to color, right? I know we use all of these terms when it comes to in the technical space, right? They use a lot of these words, right? So don't be confused when someone says use a warm color for that design or use a cool color for that design. Don't get confused, right? So this is what it means, right? So warm color contains shades of yellow, red, right? Like yellow, red. They are like warm colors. While cool colors have blue, green, or purple tints. So mind you, one color contains shades of yellow and red, not just yellow and red. So when you say shades of yellow and red, it means that black has been added to it. Like the color black has been added to it. So shades of yellow and red, not just yellow and red. And cool colors have, I wanted to say shades. Cool colors have tints of green, purple, and blue. It means white added to it, right? And neutral colors include brown, gray, and black. Those are neutral colors, right? And then white. White is also neutral color, right? So color temperature. Okay, the temperature of a color has a significant impact on our emotional response to the color, right? So if a color is warm, there's an emotional response you have when you have some certain colors and how you relate to some certain colors, right? For example, if you want the brand to or the product to depict something really vibrant, there are colors you use, right? So I'm going to throw these questions to the class. So if I want to signify growth, which color will I use? Did we get that? If I want to signify growth, which color should
Green.
green?
Green.
Green.
Okay, awesome, great. Right. So yeah, we are getting it. So there are different colors that depict different emotions, right? It's emotional response to it. So importance of color harmony. I know we've talked about harmony in typography in our previous class, right? And then I also mentioned in that class that colors also have what we call harmony, right? But when it comes to UI design, color harmony is what all designers try to achieve, right? So you try to make your design and ensure that the colors harmonize with each other. So you are not having um, a design that looks like no shades. So a design that looks like concussion rice. If you've gone to any Nigerian school before, you know what we call concussion rice. Like you just mix a lot of things just so that you can eat the food, right? So you have a design that you have red, you have green, you now have purple, you now have yellow, all in one design. Like that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. So based on the psychological needs for balance, color harmony engage the viewers and establish a sense of order, right? So once you do this, there's going to be a sense of order, there's going to be balance and all of that. So a lack of color harmony in the color palette can either result to an interface being under-stimulating, which is boring, or overstimulating, which is chaotic or messy. So if you don't use color harmony well, it might not be chaotic, but it might be understimulating, it might be boring. Like you go to the application and everything just look dull, everything just look, you're like, what are we doing here? Right? So that's that's when it comes to color harmony. Then there are other type of color models I'm going to talk about, right? So I'm just picking the important part of colors. So we have what we call addictive and subtractive color models, right? So when we talk about color models, we have addictive color models and we have subtractive color models, right? So addictive color models is basically RGB, like the RGB standard, which is blue, red, green, and blue, right? So RGB stands for red, green, and blue, and this is based on addictive color model of light waves that detects that the more color you add, the closer you get to white. So the more you add color, the closer you get to white. So RGB color model form the basis of electronic screens and results and as a result it is the model used for UI design, right? UI designers use these models very well. So if you do brand design, if you've done printing, you understand what I'm saying, right? So as if you're a UI designer, you can just stick to additive color model RGB. So the amazing thing about Figma and what Figma has done for us is Figma works with RGB. So like the color model that is on Figma is RGB, but if you use other software like Photoshop, Illustrator, and other design software like CorelDRAW, you might have to choose your color model depending on what you're working on. So if you're working for electronic device or digital screen or something, you use RGB. But if you're working for print design and all of that, you might use the other color model, right? So the other color model is subtractive color model, which is CMYK, right? CMYK. So on the other hand, CMYK is known as a subtractive color model, which obtains color by the subtraction of light. So it means that you're removing lights. Why for RGB you're adding lights. So CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and it is mostly used for physical printing. So when you want to print a flyer, when you want to print shirt, anything you want to do like printing is good or is advisable you your design is done on CMYK, right? So if you're designing on CMYK on your screen, it may look somehow, like it might not look like the real color, it might look somehow, right? But when you print it out, it's going to come out very well. If you've done printing before, you understand what I'm saying, right? But if you've not done printing, it may look like a whole lot of talk. But I'm just saying this in case maybe any of you go into branding or you go into printing and all of that. So if you are designing for your clients, if you are designing for your company and all of that, ensure that you use this color model when it comes to printing, right? So that once you are shipping it to them, you're giving them in CMYK format, and when they are printing it, it's looking at the way they are seeing it on screen. So it's not like if you print with RGB, sometimes it will come out, it won't come out the way you like it. So all these billboards, flyers, posters, they are mostly printed on CMYK. Then we have types of color palettes. Are we following? Let me just stop to see if we are following. Any questions so far? Okay, we are good here.
Yes, yes, we are.
Francis, I'm not asking if you are good. I know you are good. All right. Francis has spoken very well, so I believe that we are good. All right. So color palettes and types. I know we've heard about color palettes and types of color palettes. So basically, what color palette is where, let me just break it down. Color palette is where you mix your colors, or where you have, not mix, where you have options to pick your colors from. Right. So if you've gone for sip and paint before, probably with your friends or with your loved ones or with your crush, there's something that they give you, a plate, and then they'll put colors there. That's called the color palettes. You know, so you pick your color from there and you design, right? On Figma, so you can have your color palettes, right? So you can also create your color palettes based on the project you're working on or the product you're working on. So you have certain colors that you're going to be using throughout that product or throughout that project, right? So color palette is a combination of colors used by UI designers when designing an interface. So we have different types. We have monochromatic, we have, excuse me, we have analogous, we have complementary, we have split complementary, we have triadic, we have tetradic. Right. So these are different types of color palettes. Because of time, might not be able to like talk about every of them one by one, but you can also do your research about what these color palettes are. Right. Um, but I can just explain some. So for example, monochromatic colors are like the word mono. It means that you have just one kind of colors, right? So you have this color, but you're using different. tints or different shades, right? So I can decide to use blue. I'll use different tints of blue, different tints and different shades of blue in that same project, but I'm still sticking to blue, so it's still like monochromatic, right? So you have split complementary. Complementary is like you're using colors that complement each other, right? So, for example, can anyone tell me colors that complement each other? Let me see if you're following. From your knowledge of colors, so you can just omit your mic and speak.
Brown and cream.
Hmm, brown and cream. Yeah. So those are complementary colors. Like you can pair those colors together, complementary colors. Then split complementary is more or less like complementary color, but it's going like the other direction. Like it's going like the opposite direction. Maybe you're supposed to use brown and cream, but it isn't something that it's not brown and cream, but it's almost similar to that, right? Because of time, I'm not be able to break all of that down, but you can also go back and read up on color palettes and all of that. And I'll try as much as possible to. I think I have the lesson notes for this, right? I created a lesson notes for this, so I'll try as much as possible to get it so you can read the full everything. So how to choose a color palette? First of all, you research your audience. We know we talked about this in how to choose typography, how to choose the right typeface, and all of that. You research your audience. You know who your audience are, people you are designing for, the demography. Are they older people? Are they younger people? Are they from the Middle East? Are they from the West? Are they from like you just research your audience, right? So there are certain places with different meanings, right? Like in different countries, there are colors that they tend towards. So in different countries, there are colors that maybe they don't really like or they don't really relate with. So you have to know, you have to research your audience before you start choosing which kind of colors you want to use, right? Another thing is to consider color psychology. You know, talk about color psychology, right? You consider color psychology. If you want to depict energy, you can use color like orange, you can use yellow, you can use red or something. If you want to depict royalty, you can use purple, you can use gold. You get if you want to depict growth, you can use green. You can also use blue or something. So like you are considering color psychology based on you've already known about this brand or this product before choosing the color. Another thing also you choose your color wisely, like choose it wisely. Um, then the other thing is don't skimp on contrast, right? So it means that make sure you pay attention to contrast because there are some colors that if you mix them together, it will be chaotic. And some colors, if you mix them together, it will be dull, right? Another thing also is stick to UI conventions. So what that means is do what we already know. Everybody know this is it. So for example, you can't use delete. You have a button that says delete and the button is green. Ah, please don't do that because that's you are confusing people, right? That's confusion. Or you have success and you're using red. Or for example, you have success and you're using yellow. Like that's stick to your conventions. I know sometimes we want to be creative, we want to do something new, think outside of the box. It's good, but in this case, make sure you're inside the box. Like stick because you are dealing with users, you are dealing with people who are already used to a certain they already used to something in a certain way, so you just cannot do things differently, right? So your delete button or your delete text should be red because it means that you are deleting. It shouldn't be blue or it shouldn't be green or it shouldn't you understand. Then another thing is also get feedback as much as possible. Try to get feedback from your product managers, from your designer friends, from your clients. Well, getting feedback from clients sometimes might not be a good one, but because your clients might say, "My wife liked the other color better," or "Make it pop." So You may not, but just get feedback from people actually. So the best color tools, the best tools for choosing colors palettes. I mean, now we have a whole lot of AI tools out there, so you can also explore AI tools when it comes to choosing colors, right? But you can use Adobe Colors, and you can use Colors, right? These tools are really amazing tools that you can use when choosing color palettes. Like Colors has thousands of color palettes on it, so you can see different color palettes. You can also take a picture, upload the picture, and it will generate a color palette for you. So these are tools that you can use. So I hope I'll be able to convince and not confuse you that paying attention to colors when it comes to designing is very important, and you should not just go into design without considering how to choose your color correctly. Thank you so much everyone for listening, and enjoy the rest of your class.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeff. Um, I don't know, are there any questions that anybody has? Before we move to the practical aspect of things. Is there any question that anybody has? You can just unmute your mic and ask. Okay, I guess we're all good, right?
Are you sure you're good? Okay. Alright, since we're all good, I think we'll just, yeah.
Oh,
Alright, guys, take care.
okay, so we are going to be moving to the practical aspects now. So give me a second, let me share my screen and then we start. Okay, so please confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, so you guys can see my screen. So we are starting today's practical class, and okay, so what we are going to be designing today is this section, which is the testimonial section, right? So I think I already wrote it out before. Yeah, so I'm just going to drag it to this side so that we can design. I'll delete all these ones. Delete. You guys can hear me, right? Okay. Okay, so we are going to be designing this section, and we're going to be doing it together. Right, so what's the first thing I'm going to do? Click on F, right, to create a frame, and then I can, if I want this exact frame, I can draw like that, like make it the same. And then if I want to get the exact height, maybe I can move it to this point and then drag, right? But let me just use the normal way which we know. Click on letter F on your keyboard and come towards the side, and then click on the desktop frame, because that's what we want, that's the size we want. So we click on desktop here, and then we can just adjust the size or the height rather to fit what we want. So like I said in yesterday's class, this was the design we did in yesterday's class, and this was the one we did day before yesterday, right? Okay, so now I think I said something that you don't need to keep repeating the exact same process you did in the first time, the second time, third time, like, so we can go ahead and do what? We can copy exactly this frame that we have created before, right? You can just copy it, Control C to copy, and then we go to the frame we want to design. But before we start, what's the first thing I always said? Let's always use our layout guide. I think we have 15 minutes left, so we're going to be, I'll drop a new link and then we join maybe when it's 5 minutes to the end. So first thing we're going to do is what? Use a layout guide. So we're going to come here and click on this addition button, which is the plus button, and then come here. You can select maybe your columns, and then like yesterday and day before yesterday I've been using 12, the count 12, and then type is stretch, meaning from left to right, and then the margin I think I use 100, and yeah, so that's the exact same layout guide I'm going to be using in all the designs. So now we have been able to create, include our layout guides. What's the next thing? I said let's bring in the text we used yesterday, the frame. We have put this in a frame, so we're going to do Control C to copy and tap on this frame, Control V, and now you can drag it to the middle. Yeah, now let me teach you a shortcut on how to actually move items from left to center and then to right easily. Let's say now this shop collection is in the middle. Let me move it to the right, but now I want it to be back in this middle. What am I going to do? I'll come here. Can you see I'm hovering small so everybody can follow my cursor? Now can you see this align horizontal, align vertical? So horizontal is like this, vertical is like this. So we want it to be in the center. So let's just click on this. Can you see that it has automatically moved to the center? So instead of you dragging it like this and trying to look for that line to come out, right, you can just use this position here, and you see align horizontal centers, and click it, and then automatically it has been center aligned. You get? So that's like a shortcut you can use. You just click on the text you want, you go to position, and then you can move it. I can make it left, I can make it right, I can make it center. So simple and short like that. And if I want to make this maybe the center of this whole frame, right, what are we going to do? Because what we did was what horizontal, which is on the same line, but vertical is like this. So if we click vertical now, it should come to this, maybe this position. You get? Because that's the center of the vertical line. So if you click on this now, can you see that it has moved and changed position? So that's how you can easily change positions. But let's go back and put it here. So now we have done that. The next thing we want to do is change the text, what our customer says. So I'm just going to copy it, Control C, and then I just Control V, enter. I can just drag it and drag it like that. You see what I did? I just drag it out so I can be on the same line, right? So I've been able to bring in that text. The next text is what? Thousands of happy shoppers trust us every day. I can come here and write thousands of shoppers trust us every day. Boom. Yeah. So now I've been able to write both these two texts, and then what's the word? And create a frame, like use the same frame we used in the previous class. Now what's the next thing? We want to now create this frame, all these testimonials. Can you see the sections where we have Sarah, maybe we can use, let's say, Mike, all right, Mike, yeah, Mike Johnson or Mike John, and can have different names anyways. But let me just teach us on how to do this easily and fast as well. So I'm going to create this frame right in this place. So let me click on to create a frame. What do? You click on letter F, right, letter F, and then drag like that. So like this, I'm just freestyling the size of the testimonial, what's it called, testimonial box, right? Then now maybe I can put a fill in it as I put a color. So I come here, tap on this plus button to add fill, and then maybe change just for the sake of it for now. Then So we know now we have been able to create what the first frame, right? Now let me check the sizing of this one so that maybe I can use the exact thing. What's this? The width is 400 and the height is 186.58. Okay, so you can use the same here. Come here, what did I say? 400, right? 400, and I think one. Let me just use 186. Okay, so now we have created the first frame. Let me close this layout guide. Yeah, now I created the first frame. Now to change the color of this frame, I told us that we can either come here and change the color like that, or we can click on the frame and click on what letter I, and then go to the color we want. So we want this color and we click on it. Boom. So now that has changed, right? Now if you look at it again, look at the color look at the shape, or the frame rather, very well. You see that it has a like a gray feel, but like also has like a border color as well. So we can also do the same in our frame. So we come here, right, and I said for us to have a color on our edges, you just go to stroke. Can you see the stroke here? And add, click add. Right, now it is color black. Well, what we want is not color black, we want this color, right? So what we can do is what, tap on it, then go here, click on stroke. Don't just click on I, because if you click on I, you are going to color of the frame that's inside the frame. And if you go and tap on this now, you see that the color of the frame has changed. But that's not what we want. We want the edges to only have the color. So we click on stroke, and then you can come to this sample here, and then just zoom in. I think something's coming on. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so I'll go back again, click on this sample, and then you can zoom in and click on this color here. I think it's having some issues. I don't know what's going on with the Figma. Let me try it again. Okay, and then you click on this color. Boom. Now if you look at it, it has the exact same color as this one, and then it has the same stroke, which is the edges. It has the same color of it as well. So that's how I was able to create this stroke and the feel of this frame. Now what's the next thing? This is quite, like, you look at it, it doesn't have a straight edge. Look at it, it's curved at the edge, curved. So we can also do that. So what we can do to curve is, you come here, you tap on your frame, and then you go to, you see this appearance, then you come here. Can you see what is saying the corner radius, meaning the sides, the edges, and then we can now move it to maybe 20, and boom, now we have this exact shape here, the exact color of the edges, and now we also have the curved edges as well. Do you get? So that's how we're able to do it. Now the next thing we are going to do is going to make our work very, very, very easy. All the questions we have are going to be asked at the end of the class. Yeah, so next is the star, right? I've taught us how to bring star, which is using Iconify. And if you use Iconify, Iconify is just one plugin. There are so many plugins, but for the course of this class, I'm just using Iconify because I feel it's easy to use. So you can come here where this F is, click on F, go to plugins, and then click on Iconify. That's if you have it before, but let's assume we don't have it. You go to manage plugins and you search Iconify, search, and then click on this one, and then now we want star, right? So it's currently running, so let it just finish, and then we use our star. I'm doing this just because of people who may not know exactly how we brought in the star the first time. So let me just bring this one and import. Yeah, so now I've brought in this star. All right, now let me just drag this out. Okay, now I'm bringing this star back inside this frame. So now we want the color of the star to be what? This yellow. So what do you click on? I, and then you come here and tap on it, and now we have the first star. Now I said to duplicate a particular um, item, element, shape, text, icon, whatever it is, you can click what? Ctrl C and what? Ctrl V, and then you move it, right? So now I've been able to create two. Now I can do the same thing over and over again, but an easy way to do it is to make this a frame. So let's do this. So highlight on this, hold on your shift key, highlight on this, and what? Shift A to make it a frame. Now I can duplicate this star as many times as I want. So now I want 5 stars, right? We already have 2, so it's meaning 3 more. So what am I going to do? Duplicate. I tap on one and Control D. Please pay attention. I've created the shape already. Now I want to duplicate this exact star multiple times. So what do? I click on one of the stars and Control D. Can you see that it has moved? Control D again and Control D again, and now I have 5 stars, and they have equal spacing, same shape, same color, and it has been easily created. So you don't need to be doing something like this where you create one, then you now drag again and looking for whether the spacing is the same. You drag again. Can you see how long it's going to take us to exactly get that? But if you are using what's it called, frames and auto layout, it helps us to easily duplicate our work. So now one star has gone out of here. What do? I double tap on one star and I would click on Ctrl D, and now I've been able to do that fast. You get? So that's like an easy way for us to do it. So this class is 3 minutes to the end, so I think we should just join a new meeting. I don't want this what's it called, this meeting to end. So I'm going to drop a new link now on the group so that everybody can join in, and then leave this one. We have like 2 more minutes. Okay, so I'm about to join. Give me a second, guys. Okay, copy, come here, paste. Okay, so let's leave this meeting and join the next one. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Welcome everyone. I'm trying to change the hosts. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Welcome, guys. Okay, are we ready? I guess we are. Okay, so can you guys see my screen? Are we good? Okay, that's good. So we can start. Please tag people on the group. Just tag everybody so that they can join this particular meeting as well. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead then. So now we have created the first thing, which is the star. Maybe we can just make it a bit bigger. So to make all of them big at the same time, what can we do? Double tap on it like this. I think I used this yesterday, but I'm doing it again. So we can do this, double tap on this star and click on enter. Boom. And now you go to the edge and hold your shift key and expand. You see that? I'll do it again. To expand everything at the same time, what am I going to do? I'm going to first tap on this group like this, the way it is, or this frame rather, and then enter. Now all of them are highlighted. I'll hold on my shift key and then I expand. You see that? So I can expand it the way I want. Now is a bit looking like what we have here before, although I think it still looks small, so we can just expand a bit. Yeah, so I think that's good, although it looks too big now. Well, I'm trying to be perfect, but there's no perfection in design. Okay, so yeah, we have been able to do that first one. Right now, what's the next thing? Text. We want to write, like, a testimonial from someone, right? So I'm just going to copy this so I don't have to waste time. Then if I want to write a text, what do I click on? Letter T. I tap on the frame first, so that the thing is, let me show you something. It's important you are always typing. So for example, if I just tap on letter T like this and tap, it is not inside this frame. Let me type. It's not inside this frame. It's not inside this frame. It is inside this whole thing, and that's not what we want. Do you get? So it's always important that you tap on the frame first. That's where you want the text to be in before you click on letter T, so that the text will be inside. Do you get? Can you see this? The text is inside. Look at this frame now. This is the frame we have, and if you click on letter T now and type, you can see that this text is inside this frame. Can you see that? So it's important that you click on the frame first and then start typing inside. Or if you do this like this and click on letter T, it's outside the frame. Look at the frame here. Let me type something. Look at the frame and look at the text. You can see that it is outside it. That's not what we want. So it's always important to tap on the frame before typing. I just wanted to make sure that we all took note of that. So let's tap on the frame and letter T, and then I can paste the text that I've copied from this other place, right? And then I just adjust it. And we are using Inter as our font. I am using Inter. I don't know what you have used in your previous task, but I think some of us use Cabinet, Gotex, and Satoshi. So if you have been using that, just follow the exact fonts that you have been using. But if you have been using Inter, follow the exact font in all your designs. Okay, so now let's go here. I'll change it back to Inter. Yeah, so now I've been able to change this font. So now we have been able to do what? Star and text. Now what's the next thing? We want to do this whole picture and this name, right? Now to create this circle you are seeing here, what I do is I use frames. Yes, I use frames, and I'll teach you how I do it. So now if I want to create that circle here, what am I going to do? I'll first tap on this frame, this whole frame, this one here, and then click on what's letter F. That's the same way you create frame. Click on letter F, and then I hold on my shift key and drag. Right now, this is the frame I created. Let's put a color. I come here to fill and I tap on plus. So we now know that okay, this thing has a color, right? Maybe let me change it to red so that everybody can see it. So now we have been able to create this small frame. Can you see it? This small frame. Now I want it to be circular like this, like everything should be round. Do you get? I want to turn this frame into a circle, right? So that if I put my picture inside, it's going to stay. So what am I going to do? I'll just come to what appearance, like I told us before, then go to corner radius and then increase it. Can you see that? I increase it to 50, and can you see that now it's a circle? Can you see that? So I've been able to easily create a circle with a frame, and the reason why I use frame is so that if I put that picture inside this circle, it's not going to come out. Do you understand? That's exactly why I use frames, so that everything is going to be within that frame. If you're using rectangle, it's not within, it's just can be on top or something. But if you're using a frame, everything we are doing is going to be inside that frame. Now let me show you an example. Look at this place. Let me show you an example. If I click on this frame now, what can you see? You can see this one, which is this circle. Let me write circle. Okay, circle. Right? The circle is inside where? This frame. Can you see the circle? Inside this frame. What else is inside the frame? This text. What else? The stars. Can you see that? So we have three things that are inside this frame. We have circle, text, and the stars. Can you see that? So it's important that you use frames because they put everything inside a particular compartment, so that you can be able to know, okay, where are all these things. But if you're using rectangles, I promise you, you would put something here and start looking for it. You get? So frames help you to keep everything in shape. So now we have been able to do what? Bring in our star, our text, and then the shape where we are going to put our picture. Now that's one. Now the next thing is what? The name of this person. So let's say the name of this person is, I'm going to use somebody's name here. Who should I use? Maybe I'll use a girl first, and then I'll use a guy next. So I'll use Zoana Shalewa. Yes, I'm going to use that. Zoana. Let me use Zoana. And what's her name? I hope I spelled her name. Shalewa. Yeah. And then I can close this. Yeah. Then I want to make this one bold, right? So come here, let me move this to the side. Bold. So I changed the, what's this called? This is the font, but this is what? Typeface. I don't know if you guys remember when Jeff was teaching us about fonts and typefaces. So there's always the font, and the typefaces are just different kind of, what would I call it? Different types of weights of that font. Do you get? So yeah. So let's make this one bold. So we click here and click on bold. I don't like this color. Let me change it to maybe black. Yeah, so maybe something like that. Or maybe it can be semi-bold. Yeah. Now, what am I going to do again? I like to use frames in everything so that everything is properly aligned. So I'm going to make this Zoana Shalewa text, and this circle where we are going to put our picture. Okay, before I do that, let me first put a picture here before I do that one. Okay, so let me do that first. So let me look for a picture. I'll drag this one out. So I've already gotten this picture, so don't bother about getting any picture for now. I've already gotten, you can get pictures from anywhere, right? Unsplash, free pick, different free. If you search, if you search, what do I call it? Free, what would I call it? Free pictures, right? You'll see different places where you can get good pictures. Free pick, so many. Unsplash, so many, right? So I got some of these ones from there. Some we can get them from Figma community. But for now, let's focus on this. Now I want this picture to be inside here, right? Inside this. What am I going to do? I'll tap on this picture, right? Control C, and then what? Come here, tap on the circle and Control V. Can you see that the picture is inside the frame? That's exactly what we want. And then now you can just adjust. How do you adjust this? You hold on your shift key, and then you just drag it. Hold on your shift key, you drag. Can you see that? Now I've been able to bring the picture, the text, the other text, which is the comments of the person, and then the star. You get? Easy like that. Now I was saying that I want this and this to be a frame. So what am I going to do? I'll tap on this text, hold on my shift key, and tap on this, tap. And then what? To create a frame, what do you do? Shift A. Now I've created a frame. I think 11, the spacing is too much. The spacing here is too much. So maybe I can make it let me use 5 first. You see 5 is too small, let me use 10. Okay, I think 10 is okay. So now we have been able to create a text, the star, and the name of the person. But if you look at this, the space between star and this, are they the same? This is 25. Okay, let's try this one. The space between this text and this, what is it? 16. They are not the same. So what is a way for us to make the spacing the same? Use frame. What am I going to do now? I'll hold on this first star, hold on my shift key, hold on the comment of the person, and then hold on the name of the person and their picture, and what? Shift A. Now watch how it is, and watch what happens once I click on shift A. Shift A. You see that text adjusts. I said adjusts, right? I don't know where I'm getting this English from. So it adjusts itself, and then you can see now the spacing is 21, spacing is 21. That's why it's good to use frames. Do you get that? Now I've been able to create the first one. I'll be able to create this first one, and what do? I can easily just duplicate. And how do you duplicate? You can do Ctrl C, right, and what? Ctrl V, and drag like that. Or I delete this. You hold on this one and hold on your Alt key on your keyboard and drag. Same thing. Do you get? So I've been able to duplicate, right? So let me see something. Okay, another way you can do it. So there are 3 ways. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and drag it out. That's one. Number 2 is hold on your Alt key and drag it out. That's 2. Number 3 is Ctrl D, and drag. Can you see that? So there are 3 ways you can do that. You get simple 3 ways you can duplicate an element. So now what do? I've created 2 of this, but I don't want to keep dragging and dragging. So what am I going to do again? I will use frames. So I do the same thing I did. I'll hold on this first box like this, hold on my shift key, hold on this second one, tap it, and do what? Ctrl A. Now I've created a frame. Now if I want to just duplicate and continue duplicating, I'll tap on this second one like this, and Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D, and on and on and on. Can you see that? That's how I was able to create this and this. Do you understand? So you start from 1, you focus on 1 first. So if you are creating something that has like the same elements over and over, you start from 1, you focus on it and build on it. When you are done, you have put all the details, you have put the star, you have put the comment, you have put the name, you have put the picture. All you just need to do in the other ones is just come here and change the text. I can just change it to I really love the products I got from this website. Sorry, okay. From this website. Good. Put which one? Yeah. So I've just changed the text here. I said I'm going to use a guy, so I'll use Francis Kelvin. Francis Kelvin. Good. So can you see how you can just easily change things? You don't have to be duplicating, like you don't have to be stressing yourself and doing the same thing over and over and over again. Do you get? You can do one and then use it to work on the others. Do you get? Just duplicate, edit the text and all that. Now if I want to change the color, I mean the what's it called, the picture, what am I going to do? Let's say I have another picture here, this one. Let me bring it out. Bring it out. So let's say I have this picture now, and I want to put it inside here, inside this particular this one here. What am I going to do? I'll click on it, control, I'll click on the picture first, control what? C, and then I come here, tap inside this one, I'll delete this picture, and I come here, tap on the circle, right? Because I want to paste it inside here. Now I've copied the picture already. Now the next thing is what? Control V, and now that picture is inside. And what I say, to adjust it to the way you want, hold on your shift key and just drag. Hold on your shift key again from the other side, drag like that, and then you can put it like that. You see that? So that's how you can easily what's it called, do the same thing over and over again, change things, change elements, change text, change pictures easily without having to stress yourself, do you get, and without having to do it from scratch. So if you are doing like a lot of designs, do you get, if you're working on a lot of things, you can see that some of these things now in this website or in this on this landing page that we designed, most of them, they are using the same element, the name star amount, name star amount, name star amount. So you don't need to do it like over and over from scratch. You can do one, duplicate it, put it into a frame and work with it. You can just start editing the text, editing the figures and all that. Here again, in this section, you can see same thing. We are using the same element. You can work on one, duplicate it and work on the others. Do you get? So that's how you can easily change things, edit things, and make them really good. I'm just going to put this and this into a frame. Is that it? Okay, let me just leave it like this. Yeah. So that's how I was able to create this and create this. Do we all understand? Are we clear? Are we good? Nobody's talking again. Okay, we are good. Okay, yeah, Udubela, you had a question before. Please go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Francis. Good evening, everyone. Yes, for the frame, because you know that we can't. Okay, I know that we cannot copy for that frame the line out said the line out that frame, the testimonial frame.
Okay, you mean
I didn't get the number of that color.
You can copy actually. Like you can. I copied this.
I tried to paste the previous one on my work today and it went blank. I don't know why. Okay. I was going to ask why do you have that? How did you get so many just on your Canva, on your Figma?
Okay, so I think okay, so the first question you asked is about this, right? Which is the color of this thing, right? The stroke. Is that what you're asking? That's the first question you asked about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we get it, right? How can you easily like get a color, right? So what I said is, if I want to change this color now to red, I want to change the color of this edge. Sorry, this edge, it's kind of gray, right? I think that's color gray, but I want to change it to red. So what am I going to do? I'll tap on this frame, so tap like this, right? Now there are two ways. I said you can come here. Can you see this stroke? You can see the stroke, Abby. I click on the stroke. Let me move it to 100. Yeah, and can you see that I click on the stroke and I can move it to any color I want. So this is black, but if I want it to be red, I drag it to red. If I want it to be green, I can just move this thing here, change it to green, and I move it to any shade of green I want, right? Change to another color like that. That's the first one. But now if you want to copy the exact color that I used, let's say I sent you like an image now, and I say, okay, get me this. I want you to use the exact color that I use in that picture, what you can do is what you go here. Let me start. Let me use this one. Let me use this one. You go here. Sorry. You tap on what? Let me do it slowly. Tap here on the frame. You go to the stroke. Don't go to the fill. You want to change the color of the edge. Don't go to the fill. Go to the stroke. So you go to the stroke, right? Okay. You go to the stroke, and then you can click on this. You click on this box, and then you click on this sample color, right? Click on it. Now I want it to be what? Red. So let's say this is the color of red I want. I click on this red here. Boom. Can you see that it has changed? Do you get? So if I want to do the same thing for this one too, let's say I want to change this red now back to this gray, what am I going to do? I'll tap on this. I go back to what? Sorry, I tap on this. I go back to the stroke. Make sure you tap on the frame, because if you look at it, the first time I tapped is on everything. That's why it does not have any stroke here. So make sure you tap on the exact frame like this. You see that the stroke will come out now. So now I want to change the stroke of this red to what? This one. So I'll click on this color, click on sample, and I come here. Let me do it again. Okay. I'll click on that. I'll click on the sample, and what? Click on it. Now can you see that it has changed? So that is how you change stroke colors. You get? Just zoom in on the picture, click on your sample color, tap on it like that, and it changes. You get? So that's how you can change colors of your stroke. Yeah.